Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to ZDawn with me, Cornish-Knight. This is going to be a first look at the title. This title was provided to me by the developers Golden Gods Games for review, so I will try to be as honest as possible. Though take it under something that I have not bought this game myself, so some of my decisions may be slightly clouded by that. Right, so let's get down to the review. First of all, the options. General box. It looks limited, but to be honest, this game is your standard 4X, so there is not a lot that you can really do with it in something like this, which is an indie title. You have fast animation, display grids, and languages. Maybe a few more language options would be nice. In the video section, you've got full screen, you've got VSync, you've got grain effect, and then you've got 6 different display resolutions. You don't need a lot. To be honest, I've played this game for a bit. These kind of things are enough, really. You've got your audio options. It looks a bit basic, but you've got to remember that this is made by a small indie company, and the style of game does not require a lot of excess. So let's jump into the game. New game. Standard difficulty, you can do easy, you can do normal, you can do hard. We do easy just to show off the game quickly. You can basically the way this game works is that your survivors will have a camp that you can pack up and move around to new locations to basically gather supplies. So with this button pressed here, it will mean you have to set up your encampment in basically a starting location, which will limit your ability to roam. NPC survivors encampments, this basically NPC, this is basically like DayZ or The Walking Dead or any other kind of post-apocalyptic zombie game. You have NPC survivor encampments that you can interact with and fight. They can respawn. You can have them turn on and off. You can also fiddle with items quality, zombie spawn rate, supply dropped by plane. This is all very standard fare. You have your group members here. You can randomize them by basically pressing this, which will basically juggle their stats. For the simplest for things to remember, it's like this. If we basically just flip them through, strength is basically for melee, speed is how far you move on the map, focus is basically for ranged weapons, endurance is for health and stamina and various bits and pieces, intelligence is basically tasks that basically tech tasks, like building tasks, learning tasks, stuff like that. They all start with a trait and they all start with a career. Basically, you could be a politician. Useless, blame him, her if canned food goes missing. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. Unemployed gains 1 experience from actions. Architect gives you reduced time building. Handguns, shotguns, ranged stuff. Give good speeches from time to time, raises group morale by 1, which is always nice. Submachine guns and assault rifles. I am going to re-roll that because some of them are not as good. Some of them, basically the politician is just pointless. I normally like to have civil engineer is nice, lumberjack is nice, architect is really good. Yeah, this is not too bad. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of decent fighters. We've got a couple level 2s and level 3 for strength. The thing is, guns in this game are nasty. Not going to lie. To be honest, I'm really tempted what I tend to do is I tend to basically cycle until I get, at least at the start, someone who's competent melee. Psychologist, yeah, that's fine. Builder, that's fine. That's alright. That's good. Okay. Because this game is heavily dependent on guns in this game are not great. You don't want to have guns a lot of the time. Because the AI just literally spawns. When I say it spawns a lot of zombies, it spawns a lot of zombies. and having guns that can attract stuff to your group is not good. Guns are good against like special zombies and other party members, but this is relatively fine. So yeah, let's go with this setup. I'm not going to do. I don't like editing a lot because it's like it seems to take the point out of trying to survive in a situation if you customize your group too much. But you can, if you wish, you could fiddle with stuff like give them extra points and all that kind of stuff, or taking points away and putting them into other places, changing out their profession if you wish. But I didn't really do a lot of that because it seems to like sort of bypass the point of trying to win the game with a random set of people. So let's get this going. Weeks after the first infestation, a group of survivors wanders into the land of the dead. Well, in the land of the dead. Right, basically, here's a tutorial. We can go through the tutorial. It basically explains a lot of stuff for first-time players. But I'm just going to skip it just so because I can show you a lot of the stuff. Basically, this is your group of survivors. Here are your people. You can basically rotate who you want to basically have on the front line. Swap to alternative weapons. You can swap to who's basically the token represents. It doesn't do anything. I tend to have the first person in the group. This is basically you can build an encampment. You can split the group. Your group inventory. So let's go to group inventory. We're going to go to group inventory, and then we're going to go to. Sorry, we're going to go to the party members. So, first of all, we need to assign equipment. Let's first find the person who has the best melee, which is her. She's going to get a baseball bat. You can see there in the breakdown of the stats, this does 5 to 10 damage, between 5 to 10 damage. If we equip it to her, like that by left-clicking, her damage, possible damage done by this survivor is 17 to 22. So she's getting between 5 and 10 from the weapon, 4 damage straight up from the stats, and 8 damage from the perk. So, very powerful. So what we want to do is we want to find the people that have relatively good strength stats. Well, 1 is not great, or 2 is not great, but it's better than nothing. And we are going to give them melee weapons. Right. Here is the counter attack power, but available attack power this entire group per turn. So every turn, if we attack something with one of our 2 actions, because you get 2 actions per turn, you will do 54 damage, which is powerful. Here's our individuals' group morales, hunger, health. Eating a can of food will reduce your hunger. Will basically heal you and fill up your hunger. You can take damage. You can get infections on limbs and various bits and pieces. As you can see here, decrease the impact of bad circumstances, various bits and pieces. You can also get medics and stuff that are better at healing. This is what you start off with. You can always have the camera to follow the group. You can turn off the grid. I tend to have the grid on. I haven't been able to figure there isn't a way in my experience to zoom out, unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain. Because there's no options that I could find to allow you. You can also have the survival book that gives various breakdown. The game has objectives basically. There are 2 objectives so far in the game, to my knowledge. There's military rescue, which is to find a way to contact the military to get rescued throughout. The radio may be the best option. Build a radio tower in your settlement. Find a way to get rescued by the emergency services. Exploring the medical facilities in the city may be your best option. Basically, these are your objectives to complete the game. You can go down one of 2 of these routes to do it, and they have basically not story chapters, but missions, sub-missions that you complete to get to your end goal, which is to be evacuated. This basically says your survival groups and locations that you've discovered. Survival book end game rules, as you can see here. Health, hunger, morale, stats, level and experience. You get level experience from doing stuff like fighting monsters. Each time a survival levels up, you spend a point on either a stat or perk. We gain experience from doing actions like building, killing zombies, finding items, resolving events, and exploring. You get equipment, zombie groups. As you can see, these tokens dot the map. some zombies patrol particular locations, like their hordes will patrol like hospitals or abandoned military complexes, or you just find a horde that will wander close to roads. There are different zombie types. You have the common zombie group, you have zombie screamers that have the ability to spawn more common zombies, and then you basically have a boss zombie, which is a brute, which you can only really take down with special ammunition like grenades, mines, and like armor piercing ammo and like nasty stuff. They can also have the ability to call more zombie hordes to you, beware of this stupendous foe. Your encampment, which you can basically build up in. There would also be warning, if you pack up your encampment and move, you lose all the upgrades. It can also be raided by the groups, NPC survivors or other survivor groups that can be spawned from neutral or enemy. They scavenge for resources, raid, encamp, and explore. Their numbers can grow too. The flag represents their group. Basically, yeah, that number there is their group number, that's how much damage to return, that's how much health they have. Nerds of the Apocalypse, they're neutral, friendly, or hostile, you can interact with them. And then they have like NPC survivor encampment, it's the same as yours. And then stat information, so you can't really zoom out to the rest of my knowledge. Right, so you have two actions. Let's start going. It's right mouse button to move. So you move the camera by basically holding down the left mouse button and going like this. You can drag to far locations like that. I would say I wish the game had like a zoom function. You could just zoom out further. This close up, even if you can only see a little bit of the map, it's still, you lose yourself with location on the map once you start exploring. You can press the next turn or spacebar to tick time on, and this is basically what you do. Until we find a location that we can use. There's some wood here that we could harvest if we wished, but I'm looking for some more resources. Here we go. New location found. Looks like a prison. Yeah, prison block. So here's a location. It's at the end of a road. We can see the road going off down here. If we left click on it, our party will go inside to explore. While standing on a location, the tile can be explored and scanned for items. So if we press this button here, we can assign people to locations to look for. For example, we can scavenge. Yeah, so basically you can scavenge the demonstration office for accessories to give to our characters, or we can scavenge the cells for medical supplies or clothes. You assign someone by basically dragging them. You can also just like, I believe, no, that's not the wrong thing. I am going to turn off the attack function for the people that don't have weapons. You can do that so they don't attack. But yeah, you can drop people in. So we're going to put 3 people there to scavenge. Actually, I think I will do that. I'm not so interested in accessories. Medicine and clothing is always nice. So that's that turn. And then we're going to skip it. We're going to basically do end of turn. And we have found some clothing. 2 people found clothing. Okay. So let's open the backpack, see what we found. We found some mechanical jumpsuits, which is nice. We're going to give her one of them. You can do that by just left clicking on it. I do like that feature, not having to drop and drag is always very nice. So she gets that, her strength goes up, intelligence goes up. Basically, intelligence is used for crafting items. So let's see if we can find something like that. Right now, I am going to give her... You can also drop and drag. I'm going to give her a knife to get some extra damage. Our food is going down, though, so we have to be careful. Don't have to stay here too long. I found some medicine, and I found an accessory, which is nice. What did we get? Int. Adrenaline, restores 1 action point. Not great. Give him the glasses to go into the accessories. His int goes up, which means that when we actually set up camp, we can do some stuff. I'm going to spend 1 more turn here. Let's see if we can find some stuff. There we go. You have found a police armory. It probably contains some useful weapons. We can't get in. Yeah. Requires police profession. Pick the lock. Requires total of 25 group focus. Can't do anything with it. So you get events like that pop up. Ooh, more endurance. Always nice. Endurance is basically net health. I'm going to give her... Nah, she's got the jacket, unfortunately. Give him the jacket so he gets a bit more endurance. So, once you want to end scouting a location, you go to here, and you just turn them off. I wish you didn't. I wish there was just a cease exploration thing, which would be nice. And then you can just continue to explore. Let's see. I haven't got a lot. Food is not great. I would like to set up a location that we could find some food. I don't like travelling near roads because exactly that happens. And they got the jump on us. So they got to attack us this turn. Yeah. We killed some of them. We got a bit of damage. The guy here, what's his name? Mo took a bit of damage. As did Marco. As did Kurt. So we're going to end our turn. Zombies normally only ever move for speed of 1. So you can outpace them. I'm trying, there's a vehicle here, but we don't have any easy way to refuel it. I'm trying to find a location where we maybe have to get some food. There's a location here. Ah, rocks. Right. These opening moves always go slowly. When you go into a tiled screen, you can harvest wood. I'm not going to do that right now, because I need to set up a location, a base first. I'm trying to find somewhere that will provide, could give us some access to scavenging for food. I suppose we could farm. There were zombies there. I just saw them moving. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to fight them this turn. So let's... Yeah. Damage to get inflicted. So let's punch them. There we go. So we did... Yeah. Because you do damage equal to health bars. So... Found some cloth off one of the zombies. Ah, there we go. Police vest. Excellent. She can have that. She can have that. This is the general flavour of the game. So let's get here. Well, we can't do it. We need to have group 30 total intelligence, so we can't do anything with the dish yet. But that's a location on the map. I'm really hoping we could have found somewhere to basically scavenge. We're in the corner of the map now. This is the thing that I have said. It'd be nice if you had a zoom out feature, because knowing your location relatively on the world hexagon would be nice, because this is a hexagon. Or is it? No, it's a pentagon. I don't know. I have a hexagon and a hexagon. Ah, hut. Let's check it out. We found some stuff in the hut. What was that? Another set of glasses. Not really. No, I don't want to scap it. We're going to give it to her. Not really that great. So, let's try to find a decent location from where we can set up camp. Someone near... What was that? Gas station, okay. This might do. But there's zombies nearby and they found us, okay. Might want to clear them out. Nope. Okay. This is the thing, you want to try and find a location that you can scavenge from for resources, because that's really important in this game. But at the same time, you don't want to pick a location which you constantly have to be fighting the undead for. vengeful. Group of survivors. Okay. And they do not like us. You came here to die. Okay. As always in the zombie apocalypse, zombies are the acts of the least of, like, straight up. The humans are much more dangerous normally. And there we go again. They attack us. We get retaliatory strikes off, but we're taking some damage. So let's keep moving. I'm just trying to find a location where we can effectively scavenge resources like food. Ah, another zombie. Another zombie. Okay. This isn't great, folks. Not going to lie. We need to leave. Because they're going to be pursuing us. The problem is we haven't had any luck finding somewhere we can scavenge for food. Besides back down there. Right. I'm going to head back down. Where was the gas station? Down here. So I'm going to head back down here. Ah, power plant. It's got stuff that you can use for crafting, but like I just really need somewhere to produce food. Right. Let's go into the gas station. Yeah. Okay, so everyone is going to help scout this location. What you can find goes down over time. I want to get onto the main meat and, like, basically the main meat of the game. But to do that, we need to find somewhere that we could reliably scavenge for food. In my experience, you can grow food, but you will run out of food normally before you have a chance to basically get your stuff grown. So let's end the turn. Supply drop all the way over there. No, we relatively know where it is. The problem is it's not marked on the map, which is a shame. We found a little bit of food and detective hat. So if we open up there, you can see 0.9% searched. But now there's a ton of zombies, and we have to go. Because they are hunting for us. Okay. Okay. So we have a little bit of food. Not a ton. I could go and get the drop, but the drop normally involves a ton of zombies. Which is never great. So let's get here and we'll do some chopping of wood to get some resources. I'm just going to let some time go past to gather the wood we need. Our inventory is full. Okay. So we're going to go here, set up a camp, which is the main, like, basic thing that you have in the game. And we're going to manage our encampment. So we've got 18 wood right now, which is not a lot. We can't do anything with it. We can't even build walls, which is 24 wood. Everything in this game basically takes resources to produce. So normally what you want to do is that you want to set up a camp early. I wasn't able to do it straight away because I couldn't find somewhere we could scavenge easily for food. But once you have a location set up like this, you then split up your party. Like, for example, I always split up my group like in two. Some people have a bit of food, just so they can keep going. And then send them there, grab some wood. One thing I will say is I don't like how splitting the group always take action points. Because it seems a bit redundant to me, if I'm being honest. The thing I find annoying is like, oh yeah, we get no wood, 1 wood, 2 wood. Like, the game doesn't explain to you how the wood is gathered, which I find frustrating. Alright, but we've got enough wood. We can go back to base, move and join. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get basically wood walls up. So there we go. We've got to build it. So who do I need for this? No. I wish you could... This is the thing I find annoying. You can't like look at your stats when you're trying to pick people. So... Let's see, who do I need? Need him. Need her. Okay. So... him and her. Those two are going to be the people that are building it. Take us 17 turns. So, leave those two there to build it. We're going to split the party off again. No action turn, points left. Send there. So those two are basically busy building. So, you four will come with me. Each person gets a food. I will take a gun. I don't want all the ammunition. Yeah, fine, I will take all the ammunition then. And then we have to waste another turn, because obviously once you split a group, your group now doesn't have any action points, which I always found rather stupid. Maybe we'll try and hit up the... One thing I don't like is that, for example, it tells you where like resources are, but it's like, oh yeah, they're airdrop. Like, unless you... Like, there's no mark on the map where the airdrop is that I can see. So it's really hard to be able to find like unmarked locations. Like, it's like, it'd be nice if you had that where you're supposed to go. Like, I want to go and explore the airdrop, but you don't know where it is. Let's ignore it for now. Let's go up here. This is basically how the meat of the game works, folks. You explore, you gather resources, you bring them back to base, and you just repeat. We've got a little bit of food, which is nice. This place will replenish over time. I believe the book is right. Yeah. Unmarked locations point of interest reward an item and replenish over time, allowing to explore again. Specific events may occur in these points of interest. That is predominantly what the game is about. You just spend actions, you go looking for locations like this. For clothing, resources, junk, to basically build the things you need to get out. Your objectives would be either to like build a radio tower, explore locations. And this is the main meat and bones of the game. See, they're working for 6 turns left. You basically build up your infrastructure. If you have to relocate, it normally is quite a nasty thing to happen because you lose all your stuff. Which is a shame. One thing I will say is that everything takes, if we're being honest, I find the game takes a long time to get anything done. Just stuff like, building stuff takes ages. Like, I understand, yeah. 6 turns, it was like 17 turns to build a wall, and that was after I had 2 characters that were designed to reduce the cost and reduce the time allowance for building it. But it's stuff like cannon wire, wire fence, water towers, solar panels. Research allows you to basically create like consumables and stuff, and allows you to grow food, and like I think I haven't got far enough in the game to know if you can develop stuff like farming tech. I believe you can, because I saw a character that can have it, but it's not here in the early encampment. I think you need to expand the encampment or get more people. But this is what you do. You basically scavenge, bring back stuff, turn it into stuff, and build this. And this is the whole cycle of the game while trying to hold off zombies. And the core mechanics of the game are fine. The problem is it just takes ages to do anything. I read a couple of reviews on Steam about this game, and someone said like it took them like 4,000 turns to get to the final objective, which is a lot. Considering we're only on day 2, and we've already done 119 turns. I think predominantly the issue with that is that there are some mechanics that need to be tweaked. You need to have more action points, because just most I believe your action points are generated by like I believe it's it's firearms. No, I think everyone just starts off with 2 action points, and then I'm trying to figure out how action points are calculated in this game. I know if you get injuries, you can get reduced to 1 action point, and you can get characters that only have like 1 action point of movement anyway. But I find the lack of action points to be one of the main limiting things, because like it's 1 action point to move a hexagon. So you burn up your action points so quickly just moving in this game. Also, the resource gathering is very hit and miss. Like, for example, I had 4 people in that, or 3 people in that wood. No, it was 4 people in that wood. Was it 4? Maybe 3. I had at least 2 people in that wood collecting wood. Collecting wood a couple of turns previously, and like you just get turns where you get no wood, and then you get turns where you get loads of wood. There should be like a baseline for everything, because harvesting resources in this game is also another bottleneck. This game is good. Core mechanics are solid. The art style is not bad. For the price they're charging it, it's if you want a 4X zombie survival game, it's not a bad game. But there are things that could be better about it. Personally, I think more action points in general, at least like one action point, allows you to move several hexagons rather than just 1. Stuff like tracking where supply drops or special events happen on the map is nice, rather than just having locations. But the main issue is that everything just takes so long. The resource gathering, the movement, like you spend a lot of time just pressing the next button, the next turn button, because like your action points just don't do a lot. So I think they should just give the game more action points. Maybe add some more depth, like maybe some more different kinds of zombie types. I do feel, and I know that some of the people who have played the game have felt, that some of the especially like the brute zombie, this guy here, the brute zombie here is literally just there to basically deal with high level encampments. He's basically like a boss that's designed to basically smack you if you get a really good designed encampment. It'd be nice if you had like different zombie types, or besides just the basic 3. So overall, this game isn't bad, I will say. It's not a bad game, but it could have a lot more depth to it. Some more of like streamlining some of the mechanics, like giving more action points. Like maybe one action point means you move several hexagons. And maybe just giving like a baseline for item collection, not like all resources, but stuff like wood. Because like, if you're in a wood and you're chopping down trees or just like gathering wood, you should be able to get at least a baseline amount of timber, because you can go for like several turns and just get nothing, even with a full party, which just wastes time. Also, probably something like farming should be accessible straight off the bat. Just like, because like farming isn't like a hard thing to pick up, so you shouldn't have it locked behind resources. I don't believe, not when stuff like engineering and mechanics and stuff like this. Like you have a garage is accessible right away. A laboratory is accessible right away. A radio tower you can research straight away, but you can't get a basic farm plot going straight away. It seems a bit strange. I just think a bit more streamlining of some of the mechanics, just a bit more movement put into the game, just stuff to speed up what you can do, because you spend, as I said, you spend a lot of time just hitting the next turn button. It's not a bad game. For the price, it's an okay game. But it can be affected by our RNG where you're located on the map. Like, we spend a lot of time just looking for food. Overall, it's not a bad game. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it myself. But if it was on sale and I was into the 4X genre, well, I am into the 4X genre, but if I was into the zombie survival aspect of the 4X genre, then I might pick this up if this is on sale. It definitely has a good foundation that they need to basically develop further. And as I said, if they can fix some of the action economics and gathering mechanics, just so that you don't waste a lot of time just hitting the spacebar, I think they'll have a really good game further down the line. But that's my opinion on ZDawn, folks. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you were subscribed, please press the subscription button. You can find the game in the link below, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.